Alright, so I just got done watching episode 5 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, and it was amazing. Like a character made a cameo in this episode, and it's just that they gave Jadis more depth, more character in this episode alone, and they hinted towards a lot of things, especially towards the end of this episode. So in today's video, I'll just be discussing about that, and just what does this episode mean, and what could happen in the finale, and what could this potentially be leading up to for the future of the Walking Dead universe. So please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And we have a goal in mind for 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to be part of that journey to 5,000 subscribers, please like, share, and subscribe. And we have a goal in mind for this video specifically for 2,000 likes. So if you guys could get this video to 2,000 likes, I'll do something really, really special for this channel. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so spoiler alert for all of you who didn't see the new episode, but the episode's been out for a week. This recording is happening a day before the finale. So the character that did show up in this show was Father Gabriel, and of course we all theorized and speculated Morgan and other characters as well, but it was confirmed that a character from the main Walking Dead show is coming back, and that turned out to be Father Gabriel. And his scenes in this show he's meeting Jadis on a yearly basis, just talking with her, catching up with her, and we see something really interesting where we do see Gabriel within the Whisper arc, right? This is right after the Whisper arc where he does ask Jadis for her help, help from her community, aka the CRM, and because he does explain that the crops are scarce because of the Whispers. And then they're just showing scenes of Gabriel and Jadis here and there, and they're going through time. And the very interesting thing is that the very last shot of this episode is Gabriel, and it looks like that it's present day, and he's looking for Jadis. He goes to their old talking space, the place where they do talk, and Jadis is not showing up. And of course, in this episode, Jadis does end up dying due to a walker bite. And in this episode, Jadis is actually shown to be more sympathetic, right? As much as we've seen her being a backstabber and stuff like that, it does seem like that she cares about both Alexandria and the CRM as well. And the smart thing that Gabriel did was that he did not disclose the Commonwealth, because I believe that their last meeting is actually right after the finale of season 11 of The Walking Dead. So that's one thing that Gabriel did do smart, that he did not disclose what the Commonwealth is or where are they living. And also Jadis did not disclose about the CRM. And we do see a couple of scenes where Jadis is about to kill Gabriel, but she ends up not doing that. And now the big theory here is that could be a dream of some sorts, that can't be real, because the lighting and the filter of these scenes of Jadis and Gabriel together, they kind of have a soft white tint to them, a filter that has a soft white filter to it. So who knows, but most likely they do meet on a yearly basis, and this seems like a very last minute thing that they put in. It doesn't seem like it was planned, because we've been seeing Gabriel from season 9 all the way up to season 11 pretty consistently. So where does he find time to meet Jadis and stuff like that? We don't know, but they do show that happening. And now the very last scene of this episode, where I was about to get into, is that he's looking for Jadis and he does not find her, and then it shows fire in the woods with CRM helicopters coming. So this could mean a lot of things. I've heard some people say that the CRM is invading Alexandria, but I think that is very unlikely. Maybe Gabriel was able to take down a helicopter of some sorts, because we did see Michonne do that with Nat, so it's definitely possible that Gabriel was able to do that with some sort of gun that he has. And Gabriel showing up in this show does set up a really big crossover event, because we have a character that is not part of the main cast, that's not part of the main Walking Dead cast, but he's more of a side character. And also we do get that link to season 11, a character from season 11 of The Walking Dead, a character that is aware that the Commonwealth does exist. He shows up in this show, and I think that this is a very good opportunity to set up the spin-off where all these characters do come together, the big crossover spin-off that they're talking about. And also in this show, like in this episode, Rick and Michonne do say to Jadis that they're going to be coming after the CRM and they're going to try taking it down. Jadis does explain that she does have some files in her room which does have like the location of Alexandria and all of their people. So Jadis does tell Rick and Michonne to go back to her room in the CRM base and to find those files of Alexandria, to destroy them, and then they could return home safe. But Michonne and Rick do say that they're going to take down the CRM and change it, which is a huge hint at the potential crossover. I mean, again, like, this recording is right before the finale. The finale is happening in a few hours, so this video is going to be outdated pretty fast, but we have to see what happens in the finale. But my theory here is that this is one of the many big hints that a big crossover series is going to happen, and Gabriel being in this, that one connection to the Commonwealth is in this thing. And of course, Gabriel showing up at the end of this episode. He's still trying to track down Jadis, but he's not finding her. Maybe he does run into Rick and Michonne in the finale in the next episode, and then Rick and Michonne are able to come back, because the whole theory here was that the CRM are gonna go invade the Commonwealth or Alexandria. That was the whole theory here. I made that theory a couple of times. I thought that was gonna happen, but with the one line that Rick and Michonne do say that they're gonna come after the CRM, and also Jadis giving the location of the files of their people in Alexandria, this could be a big hint that when Carol did say somebody came back, she said Rick came back, right? He probably came back with Gabriel, right? Gabriel, Rick, and Michonne, they came back to Alexandria, they came back to the Commonwealth, and they know that they did destroy the files. The CRM probably don't know that the Commonwealth exists, right? That's still up in the air. But what if they come back to prepare for a war, the Commonwealth versus the CRM? I think that that'd be a perfect basis for the big crossover spin-off. And now that I think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because Carol is going to France to look for Daryl. Probably she's going to go look for Daryl to actually prepare him for this war, because of course they need Daryl, right? Daryl is one of the strongest characters in the Walking Dead universe, right? And he's a great survivalist, and they need Daryl, right? He's a huge part of their group, and they know that it's either an invasion that's coming, because again, like, if this outcome is going to happen if they are able to destroy those files. If Major General Beale finds them beforehand and locks them up or something like that, or if he gets his hands on the files beforehand, it's a CRM invasion on the Commonwealth. But if Rick and Michonne make it back home safe, if they're able to destroy the files, they will team up with everybody, the Fear group, the main Walking Dead group, and Negan and Maggie and Daryl. They'll go after the CRM. It could go both ways, but this thing is going to be ending up in a CRM war, which is a very exciting thing to see. And now it's very likely that this show will end off on a cliffhanger of some sorts, because this whole show, we just saw little bits of Major General Beale, and he's supposed to be the big bad of the Walking Dead universe. They kind of treated him like Thanos, right? How they showed Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy a bit. We know that he's the big threat, but they didn't show him all that much. And also with Major General Beale being teased in World Beyond so much, being built up that much, and when we finally get to see him, we don't see him that much. So it's very likely that either this show ends off on a cliffhanger, either of Rick and Michonne escaping the CRM, but they're not able to get their hands on that file, or they do get locked up in the CRM and somebody else has to come and look for them. And with Gabriel wandering around that area, it is also likely that Gabriel is the one to find them, and he gets word to the Commonwealth that Rick and Michonne are both alive. They're both in the CRM, and we have to get them out. I think that would be another perfect way to have this whole crossover spin-off, is that if they link Gabriel with this somehow, because again, like, I think that maybe Gabriel might not have anything to do with the finale, and his cameo was only for that whole Jadis connection, because again, Jadis did die in this episode. So like they had to have Gabriel and Jadis meeting one more time before she dies, because Gabriel is the character that's very closely linked to Jadis. I mean, hell, Jadis did keep Gabriel's last name, Stokes. So it did make a lot of sense for Gabriel to show up in this episode. Will he have something to do with the finale? I think it's likely, but also it's not likely at the same time. It's likely if Rick and Michonne manage to escape and Gabriel's just there and he helps them escape, or like Rick and Michonne don't meet Gabriel at all, they get captured by the CRM or something like that, Gabriel doesn't show up at all and he's still at the Commonwealth. There is a likely chance for that. Now, like Gabriel showing up, that being the one cameo, I think that was really cool, but I think that maybe Morgan still has a chance to show up in this thing, and Morgan I've talked about so much. And if the outcome is that Rick and Michonne do end up getting trapped at the CRM, I think the only other character that could free them is Morgan, and that is if they're setting up for season 2. But if this show is just a limited series, only with 6 episodes, Rick and Michonne will end up escaping. They will make it back to Alexandria or the Commonwealth. They will warn everybody about the CRM, which will prepare them for the big CRM war, eventually going into the whole arc of Rick being the leader of the CRM and taking Major General Beale on, because like I thought that Jadis was going to be the big bad because of how little they were showing Major General Beale, but with Jadis dying and her eventually being kind of an anti-hero, right? She cared both about Alexandria and the CRM. She was kind of 50-50 on both. So like the only character that's left is Major General Beale, and it's either one of two things, is that if they just use this show just to show off Major General Beale and to show how much power he had, and then they don't go into season 2 and they go directly into that crossover spinoff, where Major General Beale does have a lot more scenes and he does have a bigger part to play, or they go into a season 2 of this show and Major General Beale is the primary antagonist of that show. Because in season 1 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, if this is season 1, Jadis is like obviously the primary villain, which would also be perfect for Major General Beale to be the primary villain of season 2, or Major General Beale could just be the primary villain of the whole crossover event. But like Major General Beale is not dying in the finale. It's very unlikely that he's dying, because with the amount of build up that they're doing with this show, it's either one of two things, like how I mentioned before. They either go into a season 2 or they go into a big crossover series, but who knows. And now that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And again, like how I mentioned before, this video was recorded a day before the finale. Not technically a day before the finale, a few hours before the finale. So I will be getting a video up for the finale as soon as I can. And also tomorrow is going to be the first look at Daryl Dixon season 2, The Book of Carol. It's going to be focused on Carol. It's going to be a trailer on Carol. So I will be covering that as well, which is a lot of exciting stuff for the Walking Dead universe. They're keeping this train going on, which is very, very exciting. So stay tuned for that and like the video. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.